Please let me know once you are able to see my screen.
Yeah, I can see.
Okay, fine. Thank you. Okay, so today I will give you demo on these four topics like SAP Security and GRC, S4 HANA and Theory. I will tell you what are all the components in we will cover during this session. Okay, so overall, first of all, many of you said like you are not aware of SAP, right? So first of all, I will tell you what is SAP and what is ERP. So first of all, ERP is Enterprise Resource Planning. Okay, so enterprise resource planning in the sense, if we take a company, there are so many modules like a module related to FI, finance related, materials related, HR, human resource management. Okay, so usually what will happen in a company, if we have the different modules, each module will use a different tool. Okay, so at the end of the day, if they want to consolidate all the data, like whatever happened in the company, they have to gather all the data from different manuals, sorry, different tools manually, and they have to consolidate it. Okay, so they cannot get all the data from the system itself. Okay, so for that, we are coming to ERP, Enterprise Resource Planning, in the sense here what we will do by using the SAP. So SAP can be used in all the other modules like FICO, finance related, Material Management, HR, Human Resource Management, SD, Sales and Distribution, and recently they have introduced success factors, ECP, Employee Central Payroll, all these things. So what will happen, we are using a single system like SAP for all the other modules. So whenever they want to get some data or consolidate some data, so here they will be usually performing month end tasks, year end tasks, something like that. For that, what they will do, they will just simply schedule a job and run that job. So when they run that job, they will get all the details, whatever they want, which is related to SD, FICO, HR, everything in a consolidated manner. So for that, we are coming to ERP, Enterprise Resource Planning. So in that, we are using SAP. So SAP in the sense, system, applications and products. So we are having different products, different modules in this SAP system. So in SAP, we have like two kinds of modules. One is functional based, functional modules, and the other one is technical modules. Okay, so functional modules in the sense, here we will be having all the functional related things. FICO, Material Management, HR, and recently this HR is getting replaced by success factors and ECP in the system. Employee Central Payroll, like cloud versions, and SD, PS, project systems, etc. So these are all the functional modules. Now coming to technical modules, here we have security, basis, and ABAP. ABAP, which is the development, and basis is the configuration thing, and security is the one which is related to users and authorizations. So when it comes to security, we always deals with users and authorizations. Means whatever the user should have access to SAP system and what is the access they should have. Like we have different roles in a project, like what team member, manager, team lead, something like that. So we cannot assign the authorization like same access to everyone in the project, no. So we have to give different levels of access and authorization to team member, and different level of access to team lead, different level of access to manager, some kind of requesting and approving kind of. Okay, so those are all like what kind of access we should give to a particular user and how to create the user. Even in the user also we will be having different kinds of users, like dialog users. By using some user id we will log in into system, and some users can be used to execute the background jobs, and some users can be used to connect the different systems, like sap is exposed to some other external systems, like web methods. If we take some web methods, it should be connected to integration servers outside of SAP. So if this SAP should be connected to some external systems, there should be some kind of different user IDs. So by using that user ID, we will connect the RFC connection and we will connect it. Likewise, we will be having the different kinds of users and different ways of assigning the access and authorizations to them. So that is what we will be having in security. Okay, so in security, if we come to the some kind of high level components, so if you have any doubts in the last 10 to 15 minutes, I will take it, no problem. And in SAP security, if we take it as an high level topics, we will discuss about user administration, wherein we will discuss about how to create. I told you right, we have different kinds of users. So we can discuss about how to create the all kinds of users, how to change the user, how to copy the user, how to delete it, and how to assign different kinds of access to the user. If there is any some additional request kind of assigning the parameters or some profiles to them, how to assign them. So we will discuss about everything in a user, about user in user administration, so which usually deals with okay, I will tell you one more thing here: transactions, T codes. Transaction or T code, and we have authorization object. Okay, so transaction in the sense in SAP, how we will perform some action. Okay, so in the SAP, we will perform the actions by using some transactions. Those are all called as T codes. Okay, so whatever the transaction you want to perform after logging into SAP GUI, you have to use T code to get into some screen. Okay, likewise, if we go to some Google screen, what we will do, we will click on some options, right? If we go to Gmail, we will be having some inbox, sent items, primary, social, promotions, something like that. So by clicking on that tab only, you will be entering into particular module and you will be seeing all the emails which are present in that module. Likewise, here we will be having the transactions. So by using that transaction code, when you enter particular transaction code and press enter, then only you will be redirected to particular page in SAP. So that transactions are called as T codes also. In a short, we will be using T codes. Okay. So this T code access will be controlled or restricted by authorization objects. Like if we take some T code kind of SU01, which is related to user administration. Okay, so we will not give full access to this T code SU01 to everybody, right? Because this user administration should be controlled by security team only. So if we give access to this particular T code to someone else, like in the end users or clients, what we will do, we will give only display access to them so that they can log in and they can just view the details of particular user, what roles they are having, what kind of address they have maintained, what is the email id, something like that. They can just view the data in the system. But when you come to security, you should have all the access, like you can be able to create it, change it, delete it. Okay, So that kind of restriction, so for whom, if somebody wants to give display access or create change access, that should be restricted through authorization object. Okay, so these two are the main things, T code and authorization object. Okay, now when you come to this one, SAP security, we usually uh, have user administration. So I already told you about user administration, what kind of actions we do in as part of it. Next, we will be having role administration. The T code for this is PFCG. So role administration in the sense, by using through roles only. So whatever the T codes and authorization objects here I am saying, all these T codes and authorization objects will be included in roles. By assigning these roles to the user, they will get the access. So in the role administration, we can see like how to create the role. In the roles also, we will be having different kinds of roles like single roles, composite roles, master roles, derived roles. So we can discuss about all these kinds of roles, how to create all these roles, how to change them. There are different mechanisms to change them also. We cannot change all the roles in a similar manner. There are different methods we have to use it. So we can see all those kinds of how to change the role, how to delete it. Even for the deletion also, there is a process. You cannot directly go ahead and delete the role, something like that. So you have to follow some procedure and you have to delete it. And if you want to copy the same role to some other role, what is the process? So all kinds of things like copy, create, change, delete, all these things should be discussed in role administrator. PFCG is a T code for this. Next, when you come to this, then transport management. So here we will be having different T codes, SE09, SE10. So you can use anything. Hmm. Transport management in the sense, here we will discuss about all the kinds of transport, how you will transport, like whatever the roles we are creating in development system, it should be transported to the other environment. Like we will be having the landscape, right? Development, then quality system, then pre-production, and then you'll be having the production system, the go live system. So it is like you cannot go and create the roles in each and every environment manually. It's all duplication of work. We just create roles and do all the work in development system, and by using the transport, we will be just moving those TRs into the higher environments. Okay, so in the transport management, we will see how the TRs can be created and how those roles which are created in the development system will be transported to the other environments. Not only roles, we will be having some other changes also. So those changes also can be captured into a TR and moved to the other environments. Those are all things we can see in transport management. And then come to troubleshooting. So for troubleshooting, we will use these T codes SU53, ST01 or ST off trace. Okay, only one T. So troubleshooting in the sense, if some user, usually security in the sense, you will always receive the issues like some user is unable to access some T code, or while accessing, like he's able to access the T code, but he's getting some issue inside the application. Okay, so you have to troubleshoot what is the issue and you have to provide the proper authorizations to that user. Then only he'll be able to access, like he'll be able to perform the activities without any interruption. Okay, so for that, how we are we have to, like there are some different steps. By using those steps, you can check what is the actual issue which is the user is facing, and you can provide that authorization. Okay, then he'll be able to perform the activities. So for that, we will be having some different T codes. We can discuss about how to use each one individually. This is about troubleshooting. Next, table management, or else I will just say tables. So tables in the sense, We will use this T code SE16, which is the table browser. Here, what we will discuss about, whatever I am saying, like in SAP, whatever the action is performed, all those data will be saved in the tables only. Okay. So if I come to user administration, so related to user, we will be having different tables which are starting with USR star. So, means we will be having different tables which are starting with USR, in which all the user kinds of details will be stored. So here we will discuss about what are those tables, in which table what is the data getting stored, how to extract it, if you want to see the details. So likewise, even if we come to role administration, all those role kinds of details will be saved in AGR star, AGR tables. Okay, and these transport tables will be saved in E070. Some tables are there, and likewise there are some important tables are there. So we can discuss about all those tables in detail, like what are the different tables we have, in each table what is the data getting stored, and if we want to extract the data also, we should use some combination of tables. Even that also we can discuss in these tables. And then we will be having some special kinds of T codes like SU22, SU24, and SU25. Okay, so usually SU25 will be used in some kind of migration or upgrade duration. If I tell you also, you don't understand what are these. But these are very important T codes. We need to discuss about that. Okay, because whatever the role administration we are doing, everything will be based on these three T codes only: SU22, SU24, and SU25. Maybe if time comes, we can discuss in details. And also some critical T codes, like there are some T codes which we should not assign to the end users at any time. Okay, so those are defined only for the development team, like technical team only, security basis and above. Okay, even we should not assign to some functional modules. Likewise, and critical decode, some critical authorization, some kinds of access we should not give to end users, and some critical profiles are there. Okay, so if we go into some project and if we assign these critical decodes or authorizations or profiles to end users unknowingly, it will be leading to escalation also. Okay, so whatever the moment, we should not assign those critical T codes or authorizations or profiles to the end users, maybe to the functional team or the technical teams based on some approvals. For time being, we can assign, but we should not assign to the end users at any time. Okay, so something like that. I have covered all these things: user role transport. Okay, so even if I miss something also, I can be adding during the sessions. But this is the overall what topics we can discuss about SAP security. Okay, so then we will go to GRC. Before that, is anybody having any doubts about this SAP security? You can ask me now. Hello?
Yeah, Monica.
Yes. So are there any questions, or shall I continue with the GRC?
From my end, no questions. I am interested in all the GRC.
Okay, fine. Okay, then. So GRC, in the sense, I will take it as a no from the others. Even if you have any questions, you can ask me in the later session. So GRC, in the sense, governance, risk, and compliance. Okay, so governance, risk, and compliance, in the sense, usually what happens, there are some risks, like if a company or if some project is there, we should have some policies or compliances, some regulations. Okay, so whatever the role change or whatever the authorizations we are giving it, it shouldn't lead to any risk. Okay, so I will give you one example. Like if there is one person, like for suppose I am the one who is having the access, all kinds of access to me. Okay, so that I can request for some amount. Like if you take some kind of bank example, okay, so there is an employee, so that employee is applying for some advance or some amount or loan from the bank, so he is requesting. And if the same person is having the access to approve it also, okay, so what will happen, it shouldn't be undergone any kind of validation. He just requests the access and he will directly go and approve the access and he will get the money. Nobody knows about it. Okay, so this kind of risk, in order to prevent this kind of risk, so in the system we will be having some regulations and some policies should be compliant. Okay, so as part of that, GRC came into the picture. In GRC we will be having different modules like AC, access control, PC, process control, RM, risk management, and GTS, global trade services. Okay, so all these PCRM, GTS are some business related or functional module related. We will be dealing with only access control. Okay, again in access control, how we are going to access the, I mean, restrict the access and preventing the risks with respect to the users or authorizations or anything. So under AC, we have some more modules. ARM means access request management. ARA, access risk analysis. BRM, business role management. EAM, emergency access management. Okay, so these are the four modules we are going to discuss under GRC AC component. So ARM, access request management, in the sense how we are going to access, like raise a request for the user. Okay, so what we will do here under SAP security, I told you, right, we will create the users, but it shouldn't be like in the production system, it always go and manually create the user and assign the roles. It shouldn't be the case. If we have the GRC component, no need to create the users manually. There is some MSMP workflow which is configured. So based on that, if we go into this access request management, wherein we can handle all kinds of requests raised for the user and assign the roles. And access risk analysis, in the sense, here what it deals about is, before going adding any T codes or authorizations to the roles or assigning the roles to the user, if we perform the risk analysis, it will go and check whether is there any risk. Like if I get a some request to add some T code to the role, okay, so before adding the T code to the role itself, I should go and run this risk analysis. Then it will check and tell me, by adding that T code to the role, if there is any risk should be there or it is free of risk. So if there are no violations, then I can happily go and make the change and move it to the further environments. But if there is any risk, then how to handle that risk, even for that also we have like remediation and mitigation kind of things. Okay, so those things will be covered under ARA, how we are going to mitigate the risk or how we are going to remediate the risk and what is the process to do all those things. Everything will be covered under ARA, access risk analysis. And now coming to BRM, business role management, and here also, in SAP security, I told you, right, this is the on-premise system, and here we will create the roles manually. And after adding the T codes and authorizations, we will perform the risk analysis. But when we take this BRM is enabled, then what we will do, we can create the roles also from the GRC system. So while creating or while changing the role itself, it will perform the risk analysis before generating the role. And here also we can maintain all the role owners, how to maintain all the role owners in the system, and how to create the role in the BRM, how to change the role, and how to upload the role. There are different things, like we can import the roles, export the roles, everything will be everything regarding to role will be covered in BRM, business role management. And now coming to EAM, emergency access management. So the name itself says that emergency access management. Okay, so usually what will happen in the production system, every user, even though technical team or functional or the client, everyone will be having only display access. Okay, but there is some emergency situation wherein the user directly wants to update some table in the production system. Okay, so then and there we cannot go and update the roles, and we cannot give the access, right? For that, EAM comes into the picture. So before itself we will create some EAM related IDs, and we will give some elevated access to them. So here, how to user can go ahead and request for this EAM ID. By using that ID, he can directly go into the production system and make the changes directly in there. So here in this module, we will discuss about how all that kind of process, how to create the EAM IDs, how to create the EAM roles, how to assign it. Like there are some particular parameters to be maintained in order to perform all those activities. And there should be some users like firefighter ID owners, firefighter ID controllers, what are their duties, how to connect to the target system by using these EAM IDs. Everything will be covered under EAM module. So these are the four modules which comes under GRC related to security team. Okay, so ARM in the sense access related, ARA risk related, BRM role related, EAM in the sense emergency access related. So this is about GRC. Now coming to S4 HANA and fear. So S4 HANA and PRA means these days, recently, ECC is getting migrated to S4 HANA. So what is the difference means ECC usually runs on any operating system. Okay. But when it comes to S4 HANA, it runs on HANA DB. Okay. So comparatively, from security perspective, the functionality, most of the functionality is same in ECC and S4 HANA, but there are some minor changes. But major changes are there related to functional modules. Usually, from security point of view, you no need to worry about. You can quickly grasp like what is the ECC and what is S4 HANA and what is the difference. Everything you can be able to relate the things. So in S4 HANA, the other thing is theory. In ECC, we don't have theory at all. But in S4 HANA, this is the additional component. We will be having the theory in picture. So theory in the sense, I told you right here, T code is the main important thing. So even the clients also should log into SAP GUI, and by using this T code only, they should be able to perform their activities. But when it comes to S4 HANA, no need to log into SAP GUI. So when Fieri is implemented, they can directly log into some browser, like how we are logging into Google, Microsoft Edge, something like that. They can also go directly into the browser. We will be providing the links. So they can directly log into those links, and in that links, they'll be having the tiles or Fieri applications added to it. So by just clicking on that application, they can be able to perform their activities. Like it is very user friendly when it comes to S4 HANA compared to ECC. So in S4 HANA, there are few changes also, and here we can discuss about the migration steps. So what are the steps we need to perform while migrating this ECC to S4 HANA? There are different kinds of steps. I told you, right? SU25 should be used while migrating. So this is a very, very major T code which is helpful in the migration. So here we will discuss about all the migration steps. What are the steps to be performed, and what are the prerequisites, and what are the post actions should be done during the migration or after the migration, what are the checks to be performed, Everything will be covered in here in the migration steps. Then we can discuss about in S4 HANA, we will be having some different kinds of role structure also. And in case of Fieri, we will be having some catalogs, groups, spaces, pages. So I will tell you how to add all of those and how to maintain those authorizations in the role. Okay. Even here also how to troubleshoot. When it comes to Fieri, the troubleshooting is different. It's not like we should directly go with SU53. There are some other mechanism. Even we can use this, but along with this, there are some additional key codes are there to troubleshoot the theory application issues. And also the catalogs, how to create the catalogs, groups, spaces, and pages. Wherein we can group. I don't know whether you will understand now or not, but when it comes to Fieri, we will be having different kinds of topics like Fieri application, okay, some tile. So it should be added into some catalogs and groups, spaces, and pages, and these things should be added into the roles. And by assigning those roles to the users, user will get the actual access. Please don't take it as a burden or don't get confused. We can discuss slowly. Okay, so Fieri, migration steps, role administration, troubleshooting, catalogs, and groups. I think these are the most of the things. And if there are any related topics also, we can cover during that time. Yes. So this is pretty much about all the security GRC, S4HANA, and Fieri in very, very, very higher level. Okay, I just gave you the higher level overview. Now, please tell me if there are any questions. Hello.
Yeah, Monica.
Yes, Gautam.
Yeah, you mentioned something like process control and access control in the column A, right? In the
Mm-hmm.
Excel sheet. Can you
Yes.
go back to Excel sheet? Your
Mm-hmm.
screen is showing something different.
Okay.
This is how it will work in real time. If I get a job, if I am changing the job in GRC,
Mm-hmm.
then what module they will ask me to handle, or everything I need to handle, like ACR,
No,
PC,
no, no, no,
RM.
no. From the security perspective, we will handle only access control. This PCRM, GTS, it is not related to security thing. They will
Mhm.
ask you to, even if you go to interview also, they will ask you about only access control. And even in the real time also, we should work on only the access control. These are the four modules on which we have to work.
What about this one? PC and RM, just your what is the purpose?
These are all business related. These are also configuration, everything they will do, but these things should be done by functional teams. How we are configuring the things, how we are maintaining the parameters, everything in the access control module.
Mhm.
Likewise, the same kind of configurations and parameters to be added, all those configurations should be done by functional team in the PC.
Bottom all three PC and RM and GTS,
GTS.
all
Huh.
these are functional models you're saying
All
under
these are
GR.
functional and business related modules only. Only this is the one which is related to security.
Okay.
You no need to bother about these three modules. I just gave you just for the knowledge.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that is different role then. PC means that is different consultant they will give.
Yes. This should be covered by some functional teams.
Mhm.
Yes, usually we will have a T code called SPRO, okay, which is used for the configuration things. So if we log into this SPRO T code, you can see so many things. Like all these modules configuration should be done through SPRO only. And here itself we will be having these different sections: access control, process control, risk management, something like that. So everyone will go to their corresponding module and perform their configuration activities.
And one more date that SAP security is different and GRC is different.
SAP security in the sense it is ECC.
Mhm. No, just in job perspective, I'm talking about SAP security is different and SAP GRC is different, right?
No, no, no. Single person only will take care of these two, both SAP
Mm.
security and GRC. But the thing is, it depends on the project. It's not like every project will be having all ECC, GRC, S4 HANA, and Fiori. It's not like that.
For example, I got a role of like a GRC consultant.
Mm-hmm.
Then I have to perform that security also.
Yes,
Okay.
that also depends on the project. If they have different teams for security team and GRC team, then you should only concerned about GRC. If
Mhm.
not, it is combined. In
Because
most of the projects,
I want to upgrade my skill in IBM because the Bob G roles are nowadays not there much. So that's
okay.
the reason I'm asking.
Actually, na Gautam, without
Mhm.
having the knowledge or without working on these components, you cannot directly go into GRC.
Yeah, I understood because of the transaction codes, right?
Yes, yes, everything. Whatever the things we are doing here, that those are
Same
the
thing we will be implemented in
same thing,
GRC.
but through the configuration or parameters, everything we are controlling in GRC. That's it.
Okay, I got it.
Yeah. Any other questions from other members? So I think the rest of the people got confused. Huh? Okay. So you guys please don't bother about all these things. If we start discussing about the things, you will get all the clarity on this. Even I will provide the some questions also. Like most of what are the important questions they will ask during the interview, and I can help you to prepare the interview also. That's not an issue. So if there are any queries, I will take it up, or else we can wind up the session.
Okay, Monica. So thanks. Thanks for.
Okay, okay, Gautam. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes. Bye bye. Have a nice day.